What's up, internet? My name's Ori. It is Sunday, September 28th, day number 83 inside the Big Brother house. It is finale day. Tonight, we will find out the winner of Big Brother 27. But before we do, we need to find out who will be in the final two chairs. Morgan and Ashley will compete in the part 3 of the HOH competition live tonight. But what will they do when they win? Well, it looks like Morgan might finally be letting go of that long hug. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We will be live tonight for the finale, a nice, fun watch party here on the channel. If you guys haven't made it out to one, what have you been waiting for? This is your last chance of the season, as we will find out the winner of BB27. So make sure you come on out for that. A little bit of a recap for you, though, if you haven't been keeping up with everything going on. Morgan won the final 4 HOH and the veto. She nominated Ava and Ashley, leaving Vince as the sole vote, and he evicted Ava, leaving the final 3 as Ashley, Morgan, and Vince. 3 of the 5 judges. Morgan won part 1 of the 3-part HOH. Ashley won part 2. Both will battle it out tonight in part 3. The winner gets the chance to choose who they sit next to in the final 2 chairs. As of yesterday morning, Ashley would cut Morgan and Morgan would take Vince, but Morgan continues to doubt herself on whether she should take Vince. And despite her probably having an easier time with the win versus Ashley, continues to think that she might not win the game at all if she doesn't cut Vince. So we had a lot going on yesterday with all of that. Yesterday was the last day of full feeds. There will be some feeds pre-finale this morning, and I'll try and fill you guys in on that during the watch party tonight. But Morgan, like I said, was struggling on what to actually do. And should she send Vince out or should she not? Should she be loyal to Vince or should she cut him at the end? Eventually, she actually sent Vince to go talk to Ashley to try and get her, like a good view on Morgan's game and come and report back. So Vince does go have a chat with Ashley, and Ashley tells him, like, she knows what she's doing tomorrow if she wins the final HOH, and she's keeping Vince over Morgan. And Vince asked if, do you even think I could get votes at the end? And Ashley says, I think so, right? But, I haven't been talking to Morgan, and I want her to come to her own decision because I just feel like there's no beating her, that she will win no matter what if I take her. And Ashley says, if she takes me, it's second place. If I win, though, now that's a good story. And Vince says, yeah, you know what? Week 1 target, the final HOH. It actually says, if I can win, and I genuinely think I have a chance. If I lose, though, I have no chance. And Vince also agrees. And he says, I still feel the same way tomorrow that, if you take out Morgan, I think you have Ava's vote. And I think you have Will's vote. Kelly hates both of us. Keanu loved you, right? So who knows what could really happen? And I think you could end up really taking it if you take me to the end. Ashley tells Vince if Morgan takes him to the final 2, that's, just shows how good of a game that Vince actually really played. And if she did that, I think that Vince could actually win, she says. I think you would have a shot. Ashley even says to bring the Vince, if she brings you, I don't know if she could have my vote. I just that's just how amazing you played this game. And she knows there's a chance you might beat her, and she takes you anyway. Ooh, I'm not telling her that because I want her to come to the decision on her own. But Vince, there's a chance you could win this if she takes you. Eventually, though, we had this kind of wrap up. Ashley went on outside to kind of just chat to herself. Vince went to go kind of fill in Morgan on everything that was going on. But Ashley was saying that, he sees what Vince was doing there. He was pitching himself to go to the final 2 with her. But she said she's going to take him, right? Like she already knows that she thinks she can beat him. But she's not going to tell Morgan that, Morgan would beat him. Like, that would be dumb. And Ashley says, they're going to freak out when she says that she's a lawyer in her job. She's also been practicing her speech and her answers to her questions over and over. So she's really trying to prepare herself to be able to sit in those final two chairs, whether it's against Vince or Morgan, as she is going to try and get Morgan to take her to the final two over Vince, laying some of these seeds, even with Vince, that he would beat Morgan, so that maybe there's some doubt even when he's pitching to her as well. So I do have to give Ashley some credit there of really just trying to play these lovebirds as best as she can. Like I said, Vince went and he recapped everything that he said with Ashley to Morgan, and Morgan starts having like a little bit of her own downward spiral where she starts to realize that Ashley's probably going to take Vince over her. And Vince lies and says that Ashley didn't tell me that, right? She didn't say that's what she's doing. But, we can kind of look at some of the locked in votes, and man, it does seem like Ashley's does have that good shot to win. Morgan says if she loses tomorrow, she's going to end up getting third place. And Vince continues to say that he doesn't think Ashley would take him. But Morgan is just so over this convo. She's so over the locked in votes things. And she's just having, again, her own little temper tantrum, just like Vince has been having his own little temper tantrums. They kind of take turns on which one has the crisis. They can't have a crisis at the same time. If they both have a crisis at the same time, the world ends. We don't want that. Eventually, though, we did get Ashley and Morgan kind of meeting up, and Ashley tells Morgan like, oh, Vince had a little pitch for her, and she said he was just kind of respecting whatever decision was going to be made, and he just has a gut feeling that Morgan won't end up taking him. So he's kind of upset about that. And honestly, what, Morgan, I think if the roles were reversed, I don't think he'd take you, Morgan. I really don't think he would do that. And Ashley says, Vince is a really good player, and that's why I can't take him to the end either, right? Like he would beat me, Morgan, so I wouldn't do that. And Ashley says Vince is one of the best social players in the game. He's just really good at getting people to do what he wants. And Morgan tells Ashley, like, the hardest part about this is he's my best friend in the house, and she just hopes that if she does make this, that people don't see this as like a savage move. And Ashley says like everyone knew that if one of them won, that it would have been the other taking the other out. Like that's what you guys would have had to do if you won. So no, nobody's gonna think that, Morgan. You just got to do what you got to do, because he probably wins. He's just that good. And Morgan tells Ashley that, Vince got really frustrated that he doesn't see that, she wins the game no matter what. And Ashley says that she doesn't know if Vince really believes that Morgan wins the game no matter what. And Morgan just continues to kind of doubt, and she really has seemed to come to the decision that, what, maybe Vince is somebody that she cannot beat in the end. And if she really wants to win this game, that's who she has to cut. She even has a little conversation where she says to herself, like, her whole life she's been choosing men over herself, and now she finally has the opportunity to make a decision for herself. And this has nothing to do with even Vinny. This is about her, and that she has to make this choice for herself. Morgan ends up going and tells Vince. She says, "Listen, I'm having some doubts here. I'm really starting to wonder, what I really need to do." And she struggles with it, right? She really almost like can't bring herself to even say it much. But she says, for weeks people have been telling her that he wouldn't take her, and that he would end up cutting her. And he says like, yes, because that's why I was just telling them that what they wanted to hear. I was just trying to appease them. And he says they were telling me that I needed to cut you, but I kept telling them like, oh yeah, I'll do that, but I never planned on it. And Morgan says it's just really frustrating to hear over and over. And she would never know unless he actually won what he would have done. And they have. And I mean, we've had long emotional talks with these two, but on the last night of feeds, they had to give us another good one, because we had Vince and Morgan going on a long, and I mean long, tense conversation where they went back and forth. Vince was pushing hard for Morgan to really promise that she would take him to the final two so that he could avoid being third place. He doesn't want to be third place. Please, anything but third place. And he kept saying, like, I'm not trying to pressure you, but also pressuring her at the same time. And Morgan kept saying that, she doesn't think that she can beat him. But Vince wouldn't accept it. And he said, no, of course not. You're going to be beating me. You've played so great and you've got such a better game than I do. And they keep alternating between how, frustrated they both are and then guilt tripping her. And then, she's saying that I don't know what to do, but I have to do this. And, they just keep going back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, Vince even says, do whatever you want. Like, it's okay. I'll enjoy third place. Like, that was fun. Vince says to her, like, I think someone's gotten into your head. I think someone's convinced you that I'm this great talker. And Morgan actually like snaps back at this. She's like, nobody has convinced me to do shit. Like, don't you dare insult me that way by saying that somebody's convinced me to do something. For you to say I was convinced, that's offensive, Vince. Like, no one got into my head. Like, I'm making my own decisions. They continue to go back and forth, downplaying each other's games. Eventually, Morgan just said, honestly, you know what, Vince? I'm about not taking you. I'm really thinking about it. And Vince says he's stunned, and it's just long silences. Like, it is just palpable, the tension between these two at the moment. And he says it's kind of a shock to the system. Morgan was crying the whole time. The cameras were zooming in on tears rolling down her face. This was like the ultimate penultimate really finale, because I think tomorrow, or I should say tonight, we will see something crazy if Morgan ends up cutting Vince. But they just continue to go back and forth, back and forth. And Morgan just kept explaining, how, she has to cut Vince, and maybe that she can beat Ashley. And, if she cut Ashley, she would have to try and justify why she kept Vince, risking facing one of the strongest players in the game. Eventually, Morgan actually goes to say goodnight to Ashley, and she starts crying, saying that she knows what she has to do. She just feels, so bad about what she's doing here, and she doesn't know if she really has it in her to tell him fully. And Morgan says, if she knew she could beat him, she would take him, but she doesn't know that. Morgan and Vince eventually go outside again. They start walking back and forth, and Morgan doesn't want this to be over, but she's excited to hang out afterwards. And unless he's mad at her if she doesn't take him, and Vince says, she needs to do whatever she needs to do, but it will take him some time if she doesn't take him. And he thinks, she will win against him no matter what. And he jokes that, she'll have to buy him Christmas presents, right? Like, she'll have to buy him the Christmas presents, and, he'll have no money because she won't have taken him to the final two. Vince even brings up Cody and how on All Stars he took out Nicole, and how Nicole unfollowed him, and they didn't talk for 2 years. And Vince talks about how he's been so emotional this season. It's been embarrassing. And Morgan says, maybe there'll be a duo season and they can bring us back. Once again, though, it seems like it's going to be interesting finale here, as we have some really interesting setups here. It's not like one person just will be locked out of this final three. All three of them have a chance to make it to the final three at this point, as right now it looks like Morgan will cut Vince and Ashley will cut Morgan. So it does seem like we could get a final two of Morgan versus Ashley, or Ashley versus Vince. So those are two scenarios that we have to look at. We have our jury scenarios here. And as you see, I think Morgan cutting Vince is the worst thing for her game, as that's the easiest win for her. I think that's almost a landslide. It probably even could be fully 7-0 with Lauren going over to Morgan, with how bitter she is at Vince. And then if you would look at the Morgan and Ashley vote, that one's much closer. As of right now, I would have Morgan winning, but all it would take is one person not to vote for Morgan and to vote for Ashley. Maybe Vince is so bitter at Morgan for cutting him that he votes for Ashley. Ashley saying that she would potentially vote for Vince if he was there. Maybe that's enough to get his vote. How about Keanu? Like we said, Keanu had a little bit of a good relationship there with Ashley at the end. He almost wanted to make her his new Rachel. So maybe he has enough to vote for Ashley because she ended up going to the end there. Maybe Kelly, right? Kelly's a wild card. We don't know what Kelly's going to do. Maybe she ends up voting for Ashley. And Lauren and Morgan, they never got along at all throughout the game. So maybe Lauren ends up voting for Ashley. And if any one of those four were to vote for Ashley, I believe she would win. Because I do believe Rachel, Will, and Ava are locked in votes. If Ashley is sitting in those final two chairs, Rachel and Ashley were great allies. Will and Ashley, other than Will and Ava, were really good allies. Ashley and Ava became really close at the end of the game. I feel like she would have those three locked in. She would just need one more. And the 4 votes that Morgan has are not locked votes. And this is something that Morgan actually had talked about too, about potentially fighting over the same votes as Ashley or going for votes that Vince would have locked in, because she feels like Keanu and Kelly would end up voting for Vince over her in the end. So this is just another scenario where Morgan just is very blind to what the actual end game votes would look like, and has just such doubts about herself, such doubts that she would actually win against Vince, that she might actually set herself up to lose against Ashley. And personally, at this point, like, I think I want to see Morgan win this game. I think she's earned that win. But my second favorite outcome is if Morgan wins the final 3 HOH, she cuts Vince and then loses to Ashley. Bonus points if it's because of a bitter Vince vote that went to Ashley. It could be a wild finale night. Like I said, tonight, finale night, we will find out the winner of Big Brother 27. We will have Cody hosting the jury roundtable. We're going to have parts 1, 2, and 3 of the HOH competition on the episode. And then, of course, we will have the jury vote for the winner of the season. I really did think that Morgan would be winning sitting next to anyone, but that is in some doubt right now. We could end up seeing Morgan lose to Ashley if Morgan cuts Vince. If Ashley wins, she's cutting Morgan, and Morgan would end up losing, so she wouldn't even have that shot. Vince is at the mercy of these two ladies to see what they will end up doing. And I don't know. What do you guys think will happen in the comments down below? Who do you think will win part 3? And who do you think they will take to the final 2 chairs? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you guys all again so much for watching all season long. We've been doing daily live feed updates first thing in the morning every single day all season long. We've grown to 20,000 subscribers here on this channel. 20,000 final 2s that I've made, which each and every one of you. I'm just as bad at Vince as this point. Thank you guys so much. If you are new here though, on the last day, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Like I said, we will be live here tonight for the finale, doing a watch party here on this channel. Make sure you come on out for that. Also, check out all of my socials. You can check them out in the pinned comment description down below. Things like our Twitter and Discord. Discord's been a great community that we're building over there of just people who love Big Brother, but other reality shows like Survivor, Amazing Race, The Traders. We've even got places where you can talk about sports, post pictures of your pets, even what you're cooking for dinner. Come on and check out the Discord. It's a great place. It's also a great place to keep up with everything that's going on in the Ori universe. Just because the season is coming to an end doesn't mean the fun has to stop. We are going to probably have these Friday morning live streams we've been doing as a continuation. We're going to have these Friday morning lives just talking about all different kinds of things that have kind of been going on throughout the week, potentially more lives throughout the week in the morning as well, as we're definitely going to be live on Kick and Twitch doing some watch parties for other reality shows. Things like The Traders Ireland is probably #1 on my list, and I really want to watch that. If you have suggestions for other reality shows that I need to check out, especially things that have been airing recently since Big Brother's been on, let me know in those comments down below. Plus, we've got big plans and projects for the future, so you're not gonna go anywhere. We have a lot going on here as well. Thank you guys all again so much for all the love and support this season, and I will see you tonight.
I'm so happy we got to play this game together. That was fun. I'm never gonna forget this experience.
I don't either.